It has become one of the most watched videos on YouTube. On May 24th, an Oklahoma State trooper was responding to a call as an ambulance was taking a patient to the hospital. The trooper pulled over the ambulance, and that's when things got ugly.
Now. There. Now.
Oh, you now. What's the problem?
I'm going to give you a ticket for failure to yield. And when I go by you saying what's going on, you don't need to give me no hand gestures now. I ain't going to put up with that shit. You understand me?
And I won't put up with you talking to my driver like that.
I ain't listening to you, buddy. You get your back in that ambulance or I'll take you in. I'm talking to the driver.
And if you would.
Come over here, Paul.
No, we got a patient in this unit right now.
Hey, what's you better turn around now.
Hey, man. They gonna do it anyway. Are you going down? They gonna do it anyway.
Joining us from Gore, Oklahoma for an exclusive interview, the paramedic Maurice White and his lawyer Richard O'Carroll. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We should point out, we were just watching the video, Mr. White, you were the gentleman in the orange shirt who we see by the end of this altercation in a chokehold. Let's start from the beginning. You were in the back of the ambulance with a patient. The officer tries to pull over the ambulance. He has no way of knowing there's a patient in it because we can see that the lights and sirens aren't on. So that's my first question. Why weren't you flashing the lights and sirens?
It's common practice as it's been misreported that the patient was suffering from heat exhaustion, but the patient actually had a fainting episode with chest pain, and it's common practice not to run lights and sirens with those type patients. It really exacerbates their situation.
So if it wasn't incredibly urgent, once the ambulance finally did pull over and the trooper approached, why didn't you just let him go speak with the driver, which is who he wanted to speak with? Why did you, as we're about to see here, come out of the back of the ambulance, we see you there on the side actually, and get involved?
Well, basically, I exited the unit thinking that the driver, because of his actions, the OHP officer, had an emergency. But once confronted with the situation, there was no way with a patient in the unit could I allow my driver to spend 20 minutes with the trooper discussing a possible ticket.
We see you relatively calm when you first start to speak with the trooper, but he is visibly agitated. At what point did it escalate to the point that he had you in a chokehold?
Well, the trooper was in a state of rage from the beginning, and even after being informed that we had a patient, there was total disregard. So he started in a state of rage and simply escalated from that point.
Did you tell him, we heard you say it once, but did you keep repeating to him that you had a patient in the back of this ambulance?
Yes, ma'am. Not only did I repeat it, but family members constantly repeated and yelled at him that we have a patient and that their wife was in the unit.
He says that he did not realize it until well after the situation intensified. What do you think, Mr. White, is the lesson here?
If I heard your question correctly, he was in such a state of rage that maybe he did not comprehend, but as the video clearly shows, he was told emphatically that we had a patient that needed to get to the hospital several times.
What is the lesson here? What are you trying to accomplish? Do you think this trooper should be suspended, or is there just an overall lesson that you want people to take away?
The bottom line is that at this point, we would like to take his badge and his gun away because of the total disregard he showed for this patient. And because of his statements yesterday, it's obvious that, number one, he doesn't think he did anything wrong at this point, and neither does his superiors think he did anything wrong. So this gentleman needs to have his ability to carry a gun and a badge taken away so that no other individual, and particularly patient, has to go through this.
All right, Maurice White, his attorney Richard O'Carroll, thank you, gentlemen.